revolutionary patriots who created America. America was conceived by tax protesters like you chanting no taxation without representation. And as proud Americans, we dust that slogan off and we raise it on behalf of 700,000 tax-paying patriotic citizens right here in the nation's capital who are denied voting representation in that building right there. The CEOs are well represented in this administration, but they pay little taxes. But the patriotic people of Washington, D.C. pay billions in taxes and have no representation at all. We're not going to take it anymore. The first Americans overthrew a king who imposed tea taxes on small businesses and the people, but exempted his tycoon buddies in the East India Corporation. A king who sweated the commoners with high taxes to pay for his lavish expenses and traveling jaunts of the royal family and royal court. A king who never paid any taxes and never disclosed his entanglements with foreign kings and dictators. Mr. Trump, if you can hear us from Mar-a-Lago, read the Constitution. We have no kings here. We have no slaves here. We have citizens with equal rights. We allow no titles of nobility in America, a point you might mention to your Secretary of State, who still carries that disgraceful title conferred by King Putin, the Russian Order of Friendship. Dump the title. And we do not allow our presidents or members of Congress to collect presents, emoluments, offices, or titles, payments of any kind from foreign princes, kings, dictators, governments, and state-owned banks and corporations. Article 1, Section 9. Look it up. In America, no one is above the law, and all of us are subject to it. As Tom Paine put it, in the monarchies, the king is law, but in the democracies, the law is king. Mr. President, you've got one main job beyond watching TV and tweeting about it, which is to, quote, take care that the laws be faithfully executed. As long as you are president, you owe undivided loyalty to the people and the laws of the United States of America. Not the mobbed-up oligarchs of Russia, not corrupt businessmen in Azerbaijan, not the Bank of China, and not the dictators and despots of the world. When you look in the mirror, please stop seeing a global CEO who is above the law and start seeing a public servant who must enforce the law and set an example by following it. You can start by paying your employees at the Trump Hotel their full wages. And then pay your small business contractors what you owe them. And then pay your damn taxes. That's what real Americans do. That's what real American business people do. But you stiff your employees. You rip off the students at Trump U. You don't pay your painters or your carpenters or your builders. You're embroiled in more than 3,000 lawsuits. You sexually harass women at will like an 18th century king or a 21st century Fox TV news host. You hire an army of lawyers to keep from paying your taxes, which is a terrible example, and if all Americans followed it, the whole tax system would come crashing to the ground. And now you're breaking another promise. You won't release your tax returns, violating a bipartisan presidential practice that goes back to Watergate. Mr. President, how can we determine your conflicts of interest or stop you from collecting payments from foreign governments if you won't show us the names of the people and corporations that you are in active partnership all over the world today? How can we police the conflicts of interest? How can we police the conflicts of interest in your administration when you set the world standard for non-disclosure and non-cooperation? Mr. President, your administration has a staph infection and it's spreading every day. And we have come here today with some democratic disinfectants. And now, after the rejection of your unconstitutional immigration executive orders in court and the rejection in Congress of your terrible health care tax giveaway plan to the richest Americans, you want to rewrite our entire tax code. Fair enough, it's regressive, it's riddled with special interest loopholes, and it's opaquely complex. But we cannot debate tax policy in America, Mr. President, unless we know what personal, family, and business interests are motivating and defining your proposals. Is there, my friends, is there anyone left in America, Democrat, Republican, Independent, who thinks that President Trump would propose a tax reform that would hurt his own business interests? If you believe that, you are too innocent to be let out of the house by yourself. Mr. President, we know you favor abolishing the estate tax, which was designed to overthrow the political and financial dynasties that you seek to revive in this century. Eliminating the estate tax will allow you to control both your fortune and your children without having to create irrevocable trusts in your lifetime. We get that. But what are the other corporate relationships, foreign entanglements, offshore investments, and strategic bankruptcies that are dictating and defining your tax policy proposals? We want to know. Mr. President, we cannot...
We want to know! We want to know! We want to know! We want to know!
Mr. President,
We want to know!
we cannot allow you to reshuffle the deck until you take your personal cards out of your pocket and lay them on the table. If you don't release your tax returns, we have no way of knowing whether you're putting America first or you're putting Donald Trump first. You know, Oliver Wendell Holmes said he didn't mind paying taxes because they are the price of a civilized society. But it only works if we all pay our taxes and we all follow the law. Mr. Trump, stop hiding whatever you're hiding. Stop acting like a king and start acting like all the other presidents did, Republicans and Democrats alike. Show us your taxes. And stop consorting with Russian oligarchs and Putin sponsors. The Russians that we should care about are the ones marching in the street against corruption and against authoritarianism. And that's what we're doing today here, right now. Thank you very much.